Okay. Hello, everyone from Chelsea Fan TV. I hope you're all doing very, very well. Big up to everyone. And a very good day to be a Chelsea fan. I'm telling you what. We're in good spirits. We're in a good mood. If you live in England, you know, me and Dan were just going, oh, bloody hell, the budget's come out. But we're not here to talk about the doom and gloom. We're here to talk football. We saw some great football, both individually and from a team perspective as well. We're obviously going to talk about Barcelona. We're going to talk about everything that we can, really. Estevao, the midfield, the defense, the goalkeeper. He's even got his own chant, Robert Sanchez. So we can go through that as well. And yeah, just get everyone's perspective. Dharmesh will be joining us. He's literally running a couple minutes late, but he will be joining us. And we'll get his opinion as well. But as it stands, we have Scott top right. How are you, Scott, mate?
Yeah, all good. Watched the Arsenal game, kept up with the other games. Yeah, doing good.
I didn't even know about this. I feel like I'm so behind. They've got that goal show on TNT. I've never ever watched it before, but I stuck it on. It's actually quite useful. You can just keep up to date with everything without actually watching the games.
Yeah, I don't think I've watched it before, maybe like a couple of years ago, but I haven't watched it for a while.
I like it. What about you, Dan? How's things?
Yeah, all good. Couldn't be in better spirits in regards to football. Yeah. I think that was a performance long awaited, especially in a real competition as well, against a proper side. So yeah, good to see. And yeah, apart from the budget, like we were saying, all good and not much doom and gloom on my end.
Yeah, man. Well, we've got a positive show today, I'm sure. I mean, Kev, we were having a chat earlier. Things are moving in a good direction. I know you didn't catch the whole game, but you got most of it. You got the second half.
Got the second half. Obviously, with my schedule at the moment, I don't get no time to watch Chelsea. Unfortunately, or from what I could see, fully control the game. And I said to this, in the preview before the game that I wasn't really fearing this Barcelona team in previous games back in the Jose Mourinho area. When we see Barcelona Chelsea, I was fearful, coming up against Ronaldinho, Deco, etc., some brilliant players. But I said if we can nullify Rafinha and Yamal's threats down the wings, what have they really got? Not much, haven't they? They're not offering much. So Cucurella, I think Yamal's still in his back pocket at the moment. I'm just done a job with him. And we mentioned playing James in the defensive midfield role and Gusto in the right back position. That fully worked, and it's worked in the top games. We beat PSG, we beat Barcelona with that same tactic. I'm not sure we'll probably do it against Arsenal the weekend, but it's looking absolutely brilliant. One of the best games I've witnessed under the new era of Chelsea. From start to finish, we wanted it, and Estevao. Thought we'll talk about him further down the line, but special player that we're witnessing at Chelsea. Probably one of the best players in the making. It's that deep. So yeah, all good.
Yeah, we're going to go through a couple of comments as well. Big up to Pierre. Good to see you in the chat. If you haven't smashed the like button, guys, please do subscribe. It makes a huge difference. It helps the channel as well. Good to see Jordan in the building as well. Good to see Crack, bruv. I can't lie. I'm annoyed we let Bayern beat us. We were our own enemies that night. We can't be starting the Chuckle Brothers versus Arsenal. Listen, I think that we're all feeling pretty confident. Like we'll feel good. Arsenal will feel good. I was in a fan cam with someone. I can't remember who it was, but they said that they predicted it's going to be a pretty tentative game, unlike Barcelona, where we were sort of going for it. And I probably am inclined to agree. I think Arsenal won't actually press that much, but I don't know. I mean, that's generally how they approached when they were playing Man City, especially away from home. So I don't know if we're going to see anything different. Ben says, God, I remember when Kev said we needed to sign Chris Wood. Are you still on the Chris Wood train, Kev?
He's fell off. He's fell off, hasn't he? From last season
but
to
it's
now,
Chris
he's
Wood.
not been the same player. But obviously, hey,
It's
Chris Wood's fell
Kev.
off. He's not the bro. You can't talk shit on a man that scored had more goals and GAs than our attack last year. Like he's banging in goals, hat tricks there. He was a good player last year, but this season I just don't feel like he'd fit into what we're doing. We've gone from needing someone in the box to get on the end of balls to now we're playing it into feet and we're trying to link play up. We've seen yesterday with when Delap come on, making them smart runs in behind. So I feel like Chris Wood's more of a pump it into the box striker, and we're not that kind of team anymore. So nah, I don't think it'd be needed.
Fair enough.
Forward.
Hey, Kev, it was fun while it lasted, wasn't it, Kev? It was fun while it lasted.
Yeah, it was
how are you?
that was
Damesh?
only a bit of banter as well. People fucking know. People bloody.
It wasn't banter. No, when we were on live, it was not banter. You were dead serious, and you know it.
Cool.
You were dead serious. You were set on Chris Wood. I really wish I had some. I should screen record some of the stuff that we used to do. Jordan, you know, because you were on a lot of the lives. See if you can find some clips. If you can send me a link, I'll play it on. I'll do it today. I'll play it today. Get the receipts out. Big up to our Yusuf as well. Up the Chelsea. He predicts 2-1 against Arsenal. Kev, that would be a solid loan deal for the season. Deliver the same atmosphere on Sunday, and we'll beat Arsenal, no doubt. Thomas, you were at the game, weren't you? Did you go to Barcelona?
Yes, big up everyone, big up the chat, big up the lads. Yeah, I was there yesterday, man. Yeah, absolutely electric atmosphere yesterday. The best I've seen the bridge in a while, actually. Like literally, like couldn't see any empty seats yesterday, compared to other sort of like league games or European games that we had. But overall, just buzzing with obviously the performance, the result, and also obviously Liverpool losing tonight and Tottenham losing tonight was obviously brilliant to witness as well. And yeah, just generally over the past like sort of weekend or so where results have gone in our favour, but obviously the downside is Arsenal winning tonight and stuff, and of how they made Bayern Munich really look, and it's a shame we couldn't do that to them. But the big one's on Sunday for us for sure, and it's going to be a blockbuster of a game for us to go into and stuff. But yeah, overall I'm good, man. I'm good. Hope you lads are doing well.
Feeling confident then for Sunday.
Yeah, do you know what? Like when I look man for man on the pitch, Arsenal don't really fear me, to be honest with you. Like even with the set pieces and corners and stuff, we've dealt with them quite well. And the long throws, I guess we've sort of dealt with to some extent as well over the past few games. So, and that's what that. And honestly, that's where I see most of the threat coming from Arsenal. Just generally, even when you watch that Bayern Munich game, they should have scored at least 5 or 6 corners. Bayern was shocking defensively in that sense, but I think we've dealt with corners and set pieces overall relatively well this season. So, and that's the only aspect of it that really scares me, to be honest with you. Like Saka, I trust Cucurella up against Saka and stuff. I trust our midfield to completely boss theirs with Zubamendi up against Caicedo. I trust like the players like Estevao, João Pedro on his day turn up as well. So, and yeah, players like Reece James and Malagusto as well. So, yeah, it's just us. I think our biggest downfall was us. Like whether we make mistakes at the back or not. Like that, for example, the mistakes that we made right at the start in the Barcelona game, where I think we gave the ball to, was it Ferran Torres or Lewandowski? I can't remember who it was. But if we do that against Arsenal,
it was Ferran Torres. Yeah,
but I think if we do make that mistake against Arsenal, then the type of team to sort of capitalize, and I think it'll be more difficult to get away with sort of stuff out of that. But I think our biggest downfall, like I said, is us. If we keep if we do mess up at the back end too, and sort of play without our confidence, then yeah, I think that's the only really sort of side that I see to us potentially losing or drawing the game. It's just us, really. I don't think there's any sort of major threat from their side.
No, I think I think you've addressed it very well, Damesh. I guess the question is, guys, where do we start? Because it's all so positive. So I mean, I'll go with you, Scott. I mean, who would you like to talk about first, mate? What stood out to you, or do we work our way up?
I think the best place to start for me is the player of the match.
Okay.
Because before this game, this was the test in terms of, obviously we've seen Nuno Mendes this season against both against Barcelona or for PSG, I should say, against Barcelona, and also for Portugal against Spain. He's had Yamal on lock. Now it's time to see if Cucurella could do it. And
Wow.
bro, like
Locked him down.
unreal. And I don't remember seeing Yamal play that poorly in a while. Because, bro, some of the touches, some of the link up, some of what he was doing, like that guy's not Spanish. The Yamal we saw is not Spanish. He's from like Mozambique or something. Like or Bolivian. Like that's not a Spanish player.
He's actually North Moroccan, technically. So
No, that's a disrespect to Moroccans, bro. Even like, bro, Ziyech has got a good touch and everything. So no, that's disrespectful.
Oh,
But no, he was incredible and deservedly man of the match. I think there was a couple of others that deserved a shout that we'll speak about. But yeah, he was insane. Locked Yamal up. Even when Rafinha went over to the other side, he was better, but he still handled him comfortably. And yeah, like he's the best left back in the world. I don't care. Like there is the only one that's on his level or close to is Nuno Mendes. Outside of that, there's no one on his level. There's no one else that can chat to him. There's no one else that is even close to him. And this is not a recent thing. This is the second year in a row he's been like this.
It's mad as well because when he first came in, obviously we were so disappointed with what we were seeing. It's difficult when you go into a ship that's sort of going downhill. Is that what's the word? A falling ship?
Sinking
Ship.
Yeah.
A sinking ship, and how are you supposed to be any good if everything around you's crumbling? And obviously he had so many personal issues, which, to be quite frank, like if we're being totally honest as football fans, we don't really care if you're not performing, like you're not performing. Yeah, it sounds really harsh, but how long do you take those excuses before it's like, it's enough? And I think that after a year of really struggling with Cucurella, obviously, he found his way under Pochettino and he's been sensational under Maresca, one of the most improved players by far. But his quality was always there, even at Brighton. I remember when Potter was the manager at Brighton, I went to a game that I think we drew or lost. I can't remember exactly. He's always had that quality. He's always been a stable player, reliable player, on the ball, off the ball. Can I just ask an open question in the panel? Like, is there anyone that questioned whether Cucurella would be able to deal with Yamal? And I don't mean that in like a pessimistic way. I mean more in a like, I don't know what's going to happen. Or do we all feel like, yeah, he's going to be fine?
I probably didn't expect Yamal to be that off his game last night. And I think we've seen Yamal probably be at a level that gives Cucurella a tougher test. But I've seen Cucurella deal with some of the best right wingers in the world and not struggle and still be able to get forward, still influence the game going, into midfield. So I back him against pretty much everyone I've seen, to be honest with you. I think we saw him at the Euros, obviously, at an unbelievable level. We've seen him, obviously, for Chelsea now for like 2.5 years be on top of his game. So I'd back him against anyone. And I think you're right making the comment that maybe Nuno Mendes is the only one competing with him because there aren't many others that are getting close to that level week in, week out.
I think maybe the only one who gave him sort of a game, like a really good game, was Michael Olise, I think, at the at Bayern Munich. That was the only sort of worry I had back in my head. I was like, maybe if he comes up against Yamal, who's obviously a bit more quick, a bit more skillful, will he struggle? I don't know. But I sort of had a feeling that being at home and stuff, the home crowd will be up for it and stuff. The passion will be there from him. And I think him locking up players like Saka, for example, in the past and all these sort of top wingers has given that boost of confidence for him to go out and put performance like he did yesterday. But that was the only thing in my mind was the Michael Olise thing at Bayern. But even like he didn't really cook him to a certain extent. Like he played really well against him, but you could tell Cucurella was up for one of his toughest games in that game. So what a sensational player. I don't know if you guys remember as well. I think under Pochettino, I think it was the Wimbledon game. I remember when he was coming off the bench, he was getting booed. And
he played right back, didn't he? I think
he played right back. I remember some of the fans.
Brighton.
Lower.
Brighton
I think it was Wimbledon.
Oh,
it was Wimbledon, yeah, because
he was due to go United, wasn't he, that night? And then he ended up playing.
He ended up playing, he ended up coming on, and I remember the fans were like, what the hell is Cucurella doing and stuff? Why is Pochettino putting him on? And all the boos and jeers I still remember to that day. And then the transformation, honestly, it's been unreal.
The thing is, though, it's always been a quality left back when he was at Brighton. The price tag, I think we paid was £55 million for him.
60.
65. Well, I was
No,
a bit
60,
dubious about
like normal 60.
Yeah, so it was a bit dubious, you know, a bit too high. But even at Brighton, he was showing signs of a top class left back. You know, it's not just the defensive work. He times his run so well down that left hand side to link play, like yesterday for our first goal. You know, the link up play down that. It's such a smart play. It's the smartness of the guy. He's very underestimated because it's not just his defensive work, attacking wise, and also what I'm seeing as well, his leadership as well, mate. He's becoming a real leader within this dressing room. And he's one of the players coming off the back in the bad. You know, when the new owners first took over, he was coming off the back of that, and he stuck with us through thick and thin, and he's now seeing the good times. So he deserves all the credit he gets. And hands up, I was one of them ones that was saying, you know, what is shit and what we paid us money for, you know, and I was saying, yeah, you got to let him go to Man United, and I was bad because now, imagine if he did go to Man United, they would have had a top quality left back. So this is what I'm trying to say to most fans now. We've just got to be patient with players because you never know. Some players come in and hit the ground running like Estevao. Some players may need time, like a Cucurella, a season or so to find their feet. So with all players,
do you know what it was
don't
with
get onto straight
Cucurella
away.
as well, Kev? We had so many players all trying to find their feet at the same time, didn't we? And I think that made it even more difficult to accept someone that was like really far off it, and we were seeing inconsistent performances sort of across the board for a couple of seasons. And he was probably the scapegoat, I guess, along with maybe Sanchez, probably getting the most stick from us as fans. But I think pretty much every Chelsea fan can hold their head up and say at one point Cucurella wasn't good enough for Chelsea, and everyone felt that the right thing for him to do was probably leave the club. But the determination and the mindset and his mentality to completely reverse it is, you have to give him the highest level of praise possible, don't you? Because how many players have we seen come to Chelsea and not be able to do that, not get the fans back on side, leave, and never get up to the standard that he's done? I honestly, I can't think of many at all. There's been so many that end up going and it goes the other way. He's almost stand up to me in that.
I'm not really surprised, personally. Like, I think he was the best left back in the league the year after, like the year before we bought him. That was also a season in which he played centre back and wing back, and he was excellent. Even that season where he wasn't great, I think part of that was he was coming in to replace Chilwell, who spent most of that season injured. But it was a mess of a team. And then since then, he's basically played at the level I expected him to. Like, he's always been able to play at this level. He has played at this level. Like, outside of one season, this is the level he's played at since he's basically come to the Premier League. So I'm not surprised. I think it's the cup tying him is the only good thing Pochettino ever did in his entire Chelsea run as manager.
He inverted him, though, didn't he? He inverted him.
I still think that was more silver more than anything. But like, the fact he was still here was just because Poch cup tied him, which was good. He's incredible. Like, we finally managed to find someone to actually properly replace Ashley Cole. Like, or maybe as
Marcus Alonso was a good defender, man. Marcus Alonso.
No, Alonso was a shit defender. He was good going forward in a three at the back system, but he was a dog shit defender. He was terrible.
It was fucking brilliant.
But yeah, Alonso was never going to work outside.
He had some good times at Chelsea as well.
But yeah, he's the first one we managed to find that actually manages to replace that, like, long term as well, and could do everything, like going forward defensively, inverting into midfield, overlapping. Like, he has everything, man.
Let's just move on from Cucurella, guys, just because I know we've got to go for a number of players, and like, we want to have a say on everyone. If we go on the other flank, like, we saw the lineup, we saw James, we saw Gusto. I don't know if there's any part of you that thought maybe we see Gusto in midfield a little bit like Liverpool just to get the legs. But seeing James in that, I mean, I wasn't exactly surprised. But I mean, what were we thinking? I'll just hear from you, Domesh. Like when you saw those two playing, was there a part of you that thought, a bit like almost PSG? Like we've seen it before, but is it going to work? I don't even know if you like that system. Me personally,
I guess it's the
problem with it.
I guess it's the tried and tested that sort of worked for us in the past. So, I mean, if that's the formula that's going to get us through these sort of big-ish games against these like high quality attacking players, then yeah, then happy days. It's gonna work in our favor, and I'd no worries about Reece James or Malagusta. I'm one of Gusto's fans, to be honest with you, in terms of like him doing well for us and doing well for us this season. I think he's got a lot of stick or unnecessary stick from our fans. A bit excessive in my opinion, in terms of what he's brought to the table for us and what he can do, and the special sort of overload that he gives us in that sort of midfield role where he bombs forward for us at times. And look, okay, yes, he's not the greatest in the final third. We've seen how bad he can be in the final third, but he does offer us that sort of extra outlet to confuse defenders and to also provide that extra attacking outlet and provide that defensive stability on that side as well, and not rely too much on who was playing on that right side, his centre back side, or with Reece James. So yeah, if the try and test it works in these sort of big games, then I'm all for it. And we've seen Maresca do it now against PSG, Liverpool, now against Barcelona. We've obviously won all three, and this turned out to be great results for us. But Reece James, I mean, yesterday was unreal. I mean, I'm just surprised that he stayed fit for this long. I mean, touch wood, obviously, not trying to jinx anything at the moment, but it's been a year since he's been injury free, which obviously at the time at the surgeries obviously helped him and stuff. His fitness, maybe a different routine, and obviously the manager as well has to take a lot of credit for integrating him at the right time and stuff, and for picking and choosing which games to play, which games not to play and stuff. And Reece James in sort of inverted midfield role next to Caicedo at times is truly a bulldozing, honestly, because the physicality he offers, the attacking threat going forward as well, even pinging balls across each flank as well. I mean, what a player we've got in our hands, and I think he's marching on his way to become maybe for an argument to become our player of the season, possibly. Obviously, there's players ahead of him, I think, at the moment, but I don't think anyone can have an argument if they were to say Reece James to potentially be our player of the season going forward and stuff. But I'm just so proud of the both of them, and let's just hope they both stay fit.
Reece James player of the season, or I think, do you know what? There's definitely a conversation. It's difficult, isn't it, mate? Especially when he's inverting like all the time. Because I think that no matter how good he can play in certain games, you just know that he's better when he overlaps. Like I've had this conversation loads with Kev, for example, and I think me and you are the same, Kev. Like we like just old school. I say old school. It's actually a relatively modern thing, even still. Just fullbacks that are willing to run up and get crosses in and score goals. I mean, I loved Alonso as well. I love obviously James, but like I totally appreciate why Maresca has handled James the way he has. Like I respect it. And Lewis said this yesterday. He said that a lot of people have been giving him stick for blindly backing Maresca, and then he said, "Am I wrong?" And then I said, what do you think about the lineup for the Arsenal game? He said, "I don't care. Let Maresca do what he needs to do. Let him make the changes that he believes are the right ones." And I guess the question now is like, surely he must have earned that trust, especially when we look at Gusto and James. We're two players who I think people have been frustrated with, specifically under Maresca. I wouldn't be surprised if one of those players got dropped, especially James, like just for game time. I don't even think it would be tactical. But having said that, it's such a big game, then you have to say to yourself, maybe take the risk. But I would then counter that with, did he take the risk in the Conference League final? And the answer was no, he benched him and we played like rubbish. We played absolutely rubbish. And then he came on the pitch and we started playing well. So, I mean, that if there's anything to go by, then that would indicate that James might not play. But I mean, I'd certainly love to see him. What do you think, Dan? Would you go anything like? What would you change in terms of the lineup, more so defensively and in the midfield?
To be honest with you, I wouldn't want to change much. I feel like those players that played are going to be on such a high that going into that Arsenal game is obviously going to put us in good stead. I understand he's going to change. He's going to rotate players. I probably think Gusto plays, hence why he come off half time. I feel like he's sort of one of those that's been really effective for us in recent weeks. I like what you said as well about the midfield point on Gusto, because I feel like he's become an incredibly versatile player for us now, and in a number of different positions as well. He's seriously effective for the way Maresca wants his team to play football. So maybe he'll start that game. I think we might see one of the strikers probably returning to the team in either Delap starting or João Pedro. I'm not too sure what was up with João Pedro actually yesterday to not get any.
I think it's because we wanted runners in behind. I think that was the main reason.
He's also in terrible form.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess he's not in terrible form. We got a goal the other week, but yeah, I would say one of them two will probably be playing in the Arsenal game. I don't think Arsenal will allow us to play in a similar way to what we could against Barcelona. I think it will be a tougher game. Midfield-wise, I actually think midfield-wise, Andre Santos has been brilliant the last two appearances he's had as well. He come on at half-time yesterday. I know they're against 10 men, but he didn't look out of place in that game at all, with some real top-level players playing. I also thought midfield-wise, we did a fantastic job on Frankie de Jong. I think he can be the heartbeat for Barcelona at times. And I think off the ball, the midfield was so aggressive. And so was the whole team. It's probably the most aggressive I've seen our team in ages. And I think that is a sign of a real, true Chelsea team. And I think they did a great job. So as many players we can put from, last night's game onto the pitch against Arsenal, barring, issues with fitness or long-term protection like Reece, would be the best thing possible, really.
It's not just James either, though. I think Fofana as well.
He was great last night as well. That's another top performance, I think. Wesley Fofana, it's one of his best he's had in a Chelsea shirt, I think.
Unsung hero for us, I think, yesterday. I mean, there wasn't sort of much for him to do in that sense in the second half, but generally, like, if this guy stays fit for us, like, I genuinely think our season will go from good to great. I think that's how important he is to the team, and I think the calmness he brings to the centre back next to him, for example, he makes Chalobah look better, and I think he made Tosin look better next to him as well. And it's just whether he can stay fit. That's the biggest question. Is can Wesley Fofana stay fit?
Do you know what? One thing I've wondered actually this season, obviously, he's had like niggles and Reece has obviously been able to stay fit. When we had no European football, I feel like the players might have been out on the training pitch a lot more than they are currently, because there's a lot more recovery. There's not as much time out on the training pitch because, it's a game every couple of days. I actually wonder if that, helps the players that have struggled with injuries like Reece and Wesley Fofana to maintain fitness, because it's not constant training and out on the pitch as it was when we didn't have European football.
Kev, what's your take on Fofana? Because obviously, actually, no, Dan as well. You're both football coaches, to be fair. Obviously, you coach a team, Kev. You know the importance of having a centre back that you can rely on. It's like night and day when Fofana doesn't play. I mean, I've been very critical of him purely because of the fact that he's always injured. I just think that, to be quite frank, I think it's just really annoying, and I almost take it personally when players just continue getting injured. I'm like, why are you getting paid and you're doing zero? You're doing nothing. But when he's on the pitch, you can't deny his quality.
Absolutely. And me and Charlie had a conversation a few weeks ago. I spoke to him, and I kind of dug Lavia out because he lasted 5 minutes in the game, and I was like, I've had enough of him. Too many injuries. If you can't last 5 minutes as a professional footballer, irrespective of what surface you're playing on, you're not fit enough to be a footballer, especially playing for a high-level team like Chelsea. But he kind of got me under. It kind of got me on his side, but he said, "Look, with the better players, you can be patient with them and wait." And I was the one saying about Reece James this time last year, enough's enough, get him gone. And within a year, look how much he's come on and look at the consistency he's showing. And we all know he's the best right back in the world on his day. He's fit now and he's firing. Fofana, injury after injury after injury. Hopefully he can show some consistency. Hopefully he can sort that knee out. But he's had a bad knee for how many years? I looked yesterday. I realised there's no knee brace on there now, so that's probably good signs to say maybe he's over it all. He had a bit of a hiccup start of the season, pre-season, when he took off in his in his bio on Instagram, took Chelsea out and all that. And I was like, just fuck him off. If he doesn't want to be here, go to Marseille if he wants to go to. But obviously, he started the season while he had an injury, now he's back. And you can see the difference in the defence. It's clear to see. Less mistakes. It's a lot more calmer. It's a bit like Thiago Silva when you've got that player who's got quality. The whole defence can step up. The goalkeeper steps up. And I feel like for Fofana, since he's been back, the whole team's calm. There's less mistakes playing at the back. On transition, he's got the pace to recover. Dan said a bit ago, you see Chalobah's performances are rising as well. So yeah, I am all for keeping him in and around Chelsea as long as he's not getting injured again. That's it. I feel like a few of these guys are on the last time now for us. He's got to have a season where he's consistently playing a few games at a 7 out of 10 at least. Give it 3-4 months if he's still in and he gets a little knock. Yeah, you know what? Okay, I can take that. But if he gets injured again within the next couple of weeks, mate, I'm done with him. So it's up to him now to stay fit. But it's looking good. No knee brace, like I said. It's looking good. Hopefully, he stays fit.
Scott, what's your reaction to that?
It's a tough one with Fofana because you see what he ends up bringing when he is fit. I mean, what he's done in terms of with Chalobah has been amazing in terms of getting Chalobah back to a level of like competency. Is amazing. And like he's just our second best centre back currently. Like arguably our best. I still think Cole was better when everyone's fit, but it's like 1A and 1B.
I suppose Cole's got the passing. That's what Fofana doesn't have.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I just think he's important at the moment. Like he's our best centre back currently. Obviously with Cole being out for the season. And I think him being in there just shores up so many things. I think this is why, for me, I still think we need to address the centre-back issue in January because he can't play every game. I don't expect him to play every game. Tosin's not good enough. Like, he needs to be sold in January immediately. Bad issue.
Really?
Tosin sucks, man. He's awful. Bad issue can't stay fit. We can't rely on him to stay fit. And then Chalobah, I think, is hit and miss. I think it depends for him who he's next to. So I still think that's an issue you need to address in January.
But I'm sorry, Scott. Would that be the reason why you wouldn't keep sort of Tosin then? If like Badiashile and like Fofana, like injury prone and stuff, and you can't really allow them to stay fit, would you not keep Tosin or?
No, I'd replace him with someone else. Like I'd get rid of him because you can get pure profit from him. Get someone in who's better, who raises the level, and then all of a sudden, Badiashile goes into his role where it's like I don't have to worry about his injury problems. If he's playing once every 4 games, theoretically speaking, he should stay fit, and if he doesn't, he can leave as well.
I think you can't afford to get rid of Tosin, who's been incredibly reliable in terms of availability. Tosin hasn't been great, but he's been there and he's been available. And in the dressing room, I believe he's a leader. He's definitely a talker on the pitch. You hear him when you're at the bridge. I don't think you can afford to get rid of these players if the other ones are an issue in terms of their reliability. I just don't think you can afford.
But this is why I wouldn't get rid of Tosin with no one coming in. I get rid of Tosin and get someone better in, or I just use Josh as centre back as well.
You have to make sure that your contingency plan is there though if players are leaving, and I think we saw that this season when Delap was injured and we had João Pedro on his own as a number 9. He weren't really a 9, and we'd let Jackson go, and we panicked and we had to call back Mark Gee. Like we made that mistake already going short in one area. I don't think with our defensive issues in terms of players that get injured, we can be affording to get rid of players that are fit and reliable week in, week out.
I think it's more of a case of getting rid of a couple and bringing in one quality. So obviously we've got Disassi, who's still in the books as well, who's obviously looking a lot fitter. He's just come back into the mix. You've got Badiashile, who just brings nothing to the table. And the other one for me be Tosin. Maybe get rid of the 3 and bring in one quality one. But just like what Dan says a minute ago, you've got to have the backup. And I think Achampong has had a couple good games at centre back as well, so he could be decent cover. Obviously, Cole being out for the season, we've got to make sure that area is covered. But we have got to come up with a plan to get a world-class centre back in. That's what I think we're missing. I think we are very, you know, when shit hits the fan, when it's a sticky situation, when the ball's getting pumped into the box, I don't see much leadership in there. Okay, Tosin, you know, bit of a leader, but he hasn't got the quality. But we need a quality leader in there to help out the rest of the team. And if we can find that, I don't know where. You know, there's not many top class centre backs you can think of. I couldn't think of one off the top of my head right now that we could bring in. If we can find one, I'm sure that defense will be more solid. But yeah, I think we need to clear a few out first before we start thinking about bringing any.
Does anyone think we can win the league with the current defense we have? No.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I agree.
As well as it's gone recently and stuff. Yeah, I don't think so.
Sanchez,
That's why I don't want to send him back. I reckon with Sanchez, we might be able
a fully
to.
fit squad, does that opinion change? With Colwell back in the fold, Lavia.
Yes, Cole was out for the whole season.
Maybe.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, because Levi Fofana would be a really solid defensive partnership if they were fit every week.
And the thing is, with Levi in there, you could rotate Fofana out and still have the solidity. Like if we take Fofana out, for example, now we've either got to go back to Tosin and Badiashile, Tosin and Chalobah, which we know doesn't work, is like terrible, or we've got to go Badiashile and trust his fitness, or we've got to put Josh in there, which I'm happy to do. But I don't think Josh currently is in a state of he's going to be someone who's going to win us the league, even though I think he's better than some of the other options. Yeah. So Fofana is the key in terms of keeping this all together and keeping us at a level where we can challenge, but he cannot physically play every week. Like, I don't expect him to play against Arsenal. So, if he's not in the team, we're in a bit of trouble.
Just going back on Tosin as well, I will say this: I'm not in the camp of sell Tosin in January to bring someone else in. I think if you're going to bring someone else in, you just do it. I don't necessarily think you sacrifice Tosin.
We don't have the space
or another player.
That's what we've done though as a club, isn't it, Alex? Like we've bought in players and then put them in the bomb squad when they're surplus to requirements. That's why Dizassi's still at the club, isn't it? We've bought players in. Like Hato's come into the team. They've probably classed Disassi as the defender that's surplus to requirements off to the bomb squad. So Chelsea don't care if they have the space or not. They just put them in the bomb squad.
Yeah. Well, I think that Tosin is so vital to the dressing room. You know,
I'd agree with that, by the way. I would agree with that.
People don't talk about that. And what are the repercussions of Tosin leaving? Well, first of all, he's one of the oldest players. Like, whether he's good enough is one thing, but he is an older player. Like, that helps in life, not just football. Having someone else who can mentor you, and it might not be about on the pitch stuff. It could be personal things like we don't need to go
settling, just things like but it's things like that though, isn't it? They call him Unk for a reason because they're looking up to him and they're seeing someone set an example. He's come from a top academy at City. He's been at Fulham. He's been with a really experienced dressing room there. He's key to having. It was in a similar way. It was probably similar to having someone like Bettinelli around Cobham, who would go for coffee with the younger players and probably did a lot of character building for some of those guys. And I think he's the same. He's good mates with a lot of the Manchester lads, and he's been a top flight player now for a number of years.
I mean, I don't think that
Chelsea's success though.
Well, I mean, if I would say something, I mean, I do think Tosin's reliable. You just don't play him against the top teams. I mean,
who can you play him against?
I look at Tosin and I almost see a player. Yeah, start him against Paphos, mate.
He's good for that, though, isn't he? Because that's when you're allowed. You can rest Wesley Fofana. You can rest these players.
Badiashile,
well, Badiashile
doesn't have the personality, though. That's what we're saying. So in the dressing room, I don't see that.
No, but against Paphos, for example, I just play those two. Against Cardiff, I just play those two.
Badiashile gets injured in training. Doesn't have the
personality. Badiashile's not fit, fair enough, but I'd want him playing over
injured more than he's been fit, probably since he joined. And when he had that one spell when he joined where he looked really good, and he had a tiny spell, I think, at the end of last season where he looked okay. And other than that, his performances haven't been great either. So I'd rather a reliable player that is there week in, week out and good for the dressing room and probably great in training. Probably doesn't stop talking in training. He's probably so good for a couple of those younger guys to just listen to. Like Josh will learn a lot of him in terms of becoming a leader. So will Levi.
If that player dropping 2 out of 10s every week, I kind of don't care personally.
Well, yeah, but that's not their development, is it? And realistically, I don't think the club think he's dropping 2 out of 10s.
But he
I
is,
think
though.
as fans,
You see
I don't
that
know if
every
that's
week.
true. I don't know if that's true. I think it's a
He
little
was
bit
awful
hard.
against Burnley.
Yeah, but it doesn't mean that he's doing that every week.
He is,
And
though.
it's not-
Statistically
he's not.
speaking, he is doing that every week. Like, he's terrible. He's
I
conceding
think you're
goals
being incredibly
regularly
harsh.
because of him. We're conceding goals regularly because of him. He offers us nothing. He's been bad in basically every game he's played this season outside like maybe one. He's
I
awful.
I ain't gonna
agree.
lie that he has had a couple of stinkers and
He has. I don't disagree, but I don't think it's
in the
been
chat
every
now
game. And I
against
think you're
Wolves, mate.
incredibly unaware of what goes on in the football dressing room and why it's important to the team.
Yeah. No. But this is the thing, though. You need leaders in the dressing room, and
You do.
yeah, you'd be reluctant to let someone with that age and that experience go because you don't know behind the scenes what he's doing. He's probably holding a lot together, him and Reece James right now, trying to get the other lads to mature. So you need these older heads around the dressing room, but I wouldn't be worried about letting him go and bringing in someone else with the same age bracket, but at a world-class stage of the career. Tosin's not that guy, unfortunately. He is there for backup purposes and probably leadership in the dressing room purposes. But it's the fun when you need someone to step up, he's just going to let you down, and he's proved it. Like Scott said, he's proved it consistently this season that he can let you down with mistake after mistake. So, yeah, it is what it is. If he were to go, I don't think I'd be too worried about it.
I think Tosin's been okay. I don't think he's been terrible. I don't think he's been bad. I think he's been okay. I think last season he was decent. So like if we're looking at a rotation option, I don't think that's a bad thing. Also, you need players who want to be in the squad and are okay with not playing every week. That's the other thing. You bring in another player and then they don't get the game time they want, and then they start having a tantrum.
Look at Renato Vega. It's a perfect example. Vega Chelsea weren't going to play him in a position that he wanted to play in. He threw his toys at the pram. He's left the club within 6 months. All right, we made profit, but it's a different personality to what Tosin brings. Tosin understands he's not going to play every week. He was at Fulham and his contract ran out. He could have gone. He was looking at going to Newcastle, but he chose to go to Chelsea, well aware of the situation he'd be going into. And I think characters like that are who you want around.
100%. 100%. We're going to move on from the defense. Let's get onto the exciting stuff, guys. I think we've got to talk about Estevao. I mean, this is the one, guys. He is the man. We've got all the chants. I think there's about 5 Estevao chants going around the bridge. I can't remember all of them. What was the one we had yesterday? You're just a shit Estevao. Shit.
Yamal, yeah.
Oh, I love that one when Yamal was coming off as well. Like he was well pissed off. But I mean, Dharmesh, what did you make of his performance? What did you think before the game as well? Because there's a lot of this talk of Estevao versus Yamal. I mean, I said it as well. I said, obviously you can't really compare the two because Yamal's just done a lot more in his career. But yesterday, different story.
Yeah, I mean, apart from Chelsea, Barcelona, the real headline story was obviously Yamal against Estevão, who turned out on top, which of the two youngsters will turn out on top. And obviously it was our star boy that turned up. I mean, from minute one, honestly, he absolutely turned it on, gave the fullback such a hard time, was influential, especially down the middle as well at some times where he was creating a few chances for us down the middle for Neto. Played some smart balls through to Neto as well, which actually helped stretch the back line. Stretch Barcelona's backline, and every trick flick in the book, man. Honestly, he was just such a joy to watch. I've not seen a player come into our club that looks more exciting than say the likes of Hazard or Juan Mata. I think that's the excitement that I felt watching him. It felt like someone like Hazard or Mata was back at the bridge, or even when Palmer first joined for us as well. I mean, everyone's forgotten about Cole Palmer now because we've got Estevao in the team absolutely smashing it up. So, I mean, he was absolutely sensational yesterday. I mean, I mean, the goal as well that he took on his so-called weak foot as well. I mean, to rifle that right into the net as well and take sort of the game away from Barcelona at the point as well was unreal. And I was actually one of the few people that actually said Estevao White struggled this season. I thought I'll stay a bit reserved on him. Let's see how he gets on in the Premier League. Physicality is going to be a bit different. He has to adapt to the league as well, adapt to the country. And I was like, okay, guys, let's just wait and see. Let's not hype this kid up too much, but I was so wrong about him, man. So wrong about Estevao, because he's at this age as well, he looks so polished in the final third, like compared to where you see wingers like 25, 26-year-olds where their decision making is awful at that age. When Estevao at this age seems like he's like a 30-year-old sort of polished winger. I mean, yeah, we're so lucky we got him on the books and stuff. So lucky that we have him for so long, and it's a joy to just watch him play, honestly. And it seems like he's enjoying this football as well, which is the most important thing. And you can trust him to play sort of any position within that front line, whether he's in the 10, whether he's out wide. Maybe interesting to see how he does that as a sort of centre forward, like how Neto played against Barcelona. I mean, we might see that at some point. It'd be interesting to see how he deals with the physicality and the runs within the channel and stuff. But yeah, he took his goal so well yesterday, and yeah, I can't praise this kid enough. And I'm actually glad he's not starting every single game, because I don't want what's happening to him to happen to what's happening to Bukayo Saka, in terms of like the burnout, the reliability on him as well. I just want him to be eased into the team. I mean, like, obviously it's hard because we've got Arsenal on Sunday. You want him to play against Arsenal, but then I think we've got Leeds after that. I would want him to sort of not play that game, if that makes sense, just to protect him, because I don't want us to become over reliant on Estevao. Even though it seems like he's our go-to guy at the moment. I mean, yeah, it's just difficult to not play him if he's that good, but at the same time, you want him to have a development, have a long career at Chelsea, so that he doesn't become injury prone. Like for example, Bukayo Saka, who obviously is a good player, but then we don't want him to become that, where we're over reliant, as I said. And yeah, I mean, it's exciting to see what he can bring, man. Honestly, yeah, he's really good.
The thing is though, with Arsenal, they only had Saka for numerous. I think it was 2 seasons where they had Saka, and then they think that who did they have a drop off to Saka? Who else plays on the right for? No one. So until they had so much
I mean, that's
it. Now they've got backup for him. They can mix and match. Yeah. With us, it's not that. We've got Palmer that can play off the right. We've got Neto that can play off the right. So it's not like he's that goal. Yeah, he's the go-to guy at the moment, but we're not heavily reliant on him, just like an Arsenal.
Which is good, yeah. Which
we can rotate him each game. But for me, man, I need to speak about this guy, man, because I've already seen him play for half an hour at Old Trafford when I left early. I haven't seen him play at Wolves where he chipped the keeper. I haven't been to many games, but just seeing him on the TV, I can imagine just being in a stadium watching this guy get on the ball. It's reminding me so much of Hazard. Yeah. Palmer, a bit different. Palmer is a bit more reserved and calculated with his choice, decision making. This guy isn't. He gets the ball and he makes things happen. Bang, bang. It's either a cross into the box from the far post, or he's taking a couple man on, getting a shot away. Just like Dharma said, decision making for such a young man, polished. He's not like Amadueke last season, who get the ball into air to cross the ball, overhit the cross, or not beating the first man, or whipping it into the keeper's hand. He's hitting it and he's going through a player's head, or he's cutting in and he's making things happen, bro. The guy's already 18 years old, man. Like I'm almost astonished and how he's come and he's finding his feet so quickly. Like you said, Darmash, a second ago, he's coming from Brazil, totally different climate, a young lad. I was expecting him not to find his feet within 6 months, and 3 months in, and he's doing what he's doing now. Imagine in 2-3 years' time if we can not put too much pressure on him, because you got to understand with football, there's going to be times where he's going to have bad performances. But right now, I can't see. I'm not confident in myself that I feel like I don't think he's going to go backwards. He can only go forwards. So this is the fascinating thing, man. It's so good to see that these board directors have got something right. And I was saying to Alex the other day, with Quenda coming in from Sporting Lisbon on the left-hand side next season. Imagine that. Quenda on the left, Palmer through the middle, Estevao on the right. Wow, that's going to be some good shit, man. Now, that's reminded me of Oscar. Back in the day, we had the three amigos, Oscar, Mata, and Hazard. It's reminding me of that. It's going to be that fucking entertaining, man. So, yeah.
Even at the bridge, Kev, like, I don't know how many times you've been to the bridge this season, Kev, but even when, even the announcement of like Estevão and stuff, like, you can feel like the goosebumps in the stadium when When you hear Estevao's name, whenever he's coming off the bench and stuff, like the whole crowd just suddenly just wake up to the sound of his name, basically. And like you said, I don't think we've had a player like that since back in the day from Hazard, Mata for me as well, and even Palmer for that sort of impact. I mean, in terms of player wise, yeah.
Boys, what do you think about that?
I kind of agree. I think there's elements to his game that's very similar in terms of just the excitement he brings. He, currently speaking, arguably third best player in the league. Third best winger in the league.
Behind who?
You really put ahead of him?
Only two I'd put ahead of him currently on form are Mbeumo and Saka. Outside that, there's no one else.
You said Mbeumo as well. Somebody said that to me today. They said
Mbeumo. On form, yeah.
Mbeumo's been superb.
He's been United's only good player pretty much in that attack.
Longevity as well, I guess, right? Yeah.
Are we just talking about
longevity? I'm talking form this season. I'm talking form this season. He's been better than him but yeah, he's third best right winger in the league. He's the best winger in our team by such a long margin. He's incredible, man. Like he just the way he glides with the ball, the way like his touch, his ability to his ability to score, create, dribble, like he's decently 2-footed. Yeah, he just at 18 he already has so much to his game and it's insane. And it's just nuts. And the fact is he's 18, he can only get better, which is incredible.
Scary potential.
No, I was saying at half time, I was behind the managers, so I was sort of right in the middle. And one of the things that we were looking at, obviously we've been a little bit picky because generally speaking, everything was good. We noticed that, in terms of tracking back, Estevao did struggle at times, not really getting back as much. It's tough to do that. And we were thinking, right, that's where Neto would probably help you a little bit more. But when he's got that quality on the ball, that's when you can allow a player to have a little bit more freedom. Whether that's something Maresca said or not, we are looking at a guy that against low blocks, which is our kryptonite, he can open up everything. And I mean, that goal for me, I don't know. I'm trying to think. For me, that is that goal of the season. I mean, in terms of the context, the team.
I'd say Gittins versus Wolves.
Yeah, Gittins
that was a great goal.
But it's certainly up there.
It's the occasion, isn't it? It's the occasion. It's against Barcelona. He's driving forward. He gets past one. He gets past two. It's the way we win the ball back as well with Santos. And I can't remember if it was Fernandez or James. James laid the ball off. And we just looked like a team. We looked connected. I mean, this wasn't just an individual getting past everyone. Because actually, if we're going to look at it like Hazard would have just had the ball and got past, a number of players on his own. There wouldn't have been that link up necessarily. And that's where you see a real team, because Estevao obviously finishes the opportunity, but that was created from his teammates. They found the passes. They won the ball in Barcelona's half. I think it's a great place to be. I think it's a great place. Like, honestly, I was listening to some of the stuff on TalkSport as well. Sam Matterface made a prediction that he's going to win the Ballon d'Or. He's one of the best players he's seen in a long, long time.
It's real. I'm going to be honest. I think he wins the Copper Award next year.
You think he wins the Copper Award? Do you think 100%. He'll win any awards in England?
I think he might win Young Player of the Season.
Yeah, mate, he's going to be getting Young Player of the Season without fail. I can't think of anybody at all at his age group right now pulling in numbers on the international and club stage right now. 5 in 5 GA for Brazil. And also now he's got 7 GA for Chelsea as well this season. That's 11 GA this season already for 18-year-old, mate. He's got to be winning. He's going to be winning the, what's it called as well? What's the youngster? The young, so the Ballon d'Or for the youngsters. What's that
that's the Copper Award. The Copper Trophy.
Yeah, there you go. He'll be bagging that. And I'm sure he's going to be going to the World Cup. You never know. With Brazil,
the way things are going after the last international break, there's a genuine chance he's the first name on the team sheet in the attack.
Yeah.
That's mad, isn't it? 18
which is
years
insane.
Yeah.
And how many years has he got on his contract?
Like 7, probably 10, something. I don't know.
I think it's 2033, isn't it? I think
something like that. He's there for life.
we've got to be real here. It doesn't matter how long your contract is. If Real Madrid come knocking on that door, which I know 100%, it's good. And once a player's head's turned, we've already signed him for, I think 43 million, was it? Not much money.
I think it was
40 million pounds. This guy is going to be worth 180, 200 million pounds in 2 years' time. Do you think these owners really going to turn that down?
We're not going to sell him in 2 years' time. No
Never
way.
know,
Look, if we have another Hazard, not a problem. You give me a good 7, 8 years, whatever it is, 10 years. I mean, Estevao's 18 until he's 28. I mean, that's a pretty good run. And then you sell him for 150. Fine, no problem. No problem whatsoever. We've had a lot of success. You've been the key part of what we've done. You've inspired players and fans around Chelsea, and there'll be there'll be another generation of footballers that are coming through. Whether there'll be anything like him, like we don't know. I mean, I'm already speaking about Estevao as if he's going to be some sort of club legend, but he's on a good path. He's on a very good path. I mean, for me, if I
ask you a question, Alex, before we go to the next topic. We had this conversation yesterday, and you laughed at me, and I said Estevao or Yamal, and you saying
right now, Yamal. Let's be honest, everyone.
Yeah, no. But after yesterday, what are you feeling like? Do you feel like, because I was kind of saying towards the end of the season that gap will get closed, but do you feel like after yesterday now, obviously, do you think that gap could get closed a bit more sooner?
Do you know the one thing that the main difference that I saw yesterday was just an energy and a spark? And I didn't see any of that from Yamal. He looked flat. He looked lazy. Is not the right word, although you could use that in terms of the way he was trying to win some of those, silly fouls. And to be fair, all the Barcelona players were doing it. He just looks like he's got character. I mean, the one thing that you can say that Estevao has over Yamal right now is, and I mean, if you're just a fan watching, is it looks like his personality is just better. Like if I was a manager, I'd rather deal with Estevao. I'd rather have that character in my squad.
No ego.
Yes, very humble.
That's it. No ego.
And Maresca said he don't go on his phone. He doesn't do anything. I was like, wow.
Normal kid.
Especially for an 18-year-old. Like, I mean, even people in their 20s.
He's out partying in Vegas with all these singers and wearing all these gold chains and doing all this crap. Estevao, he just seems such a. If you see him in the street, you say hello to him, you come walk over, and if you seen that Yamal in Spain, you can tell he'd be all like, "Who are you?" Like looking down at you. You don't understand what I mean?
I actually had a conversation with Estevao. I actually got lucky enough, got a photo with Estevao earlier in the season, for the awards, the award ceremony, and me and Charlie were literally walking by the club shop, and all of our new signings just walked past us, like Delap, Estevao, Santos. So I managed to get a photo with all of them. Like I said, Estevao, I was a bit shook at first, but I was like, Estevao, you just scored a lot of goals for us this season. You could just tell he was such a nervous character. He's like, he was sort of reserved, just like, he just started nodding and smiling and stuff. And then, he's like, I was like, nice to meet you and stuff. And like, you can
see he's a good kid, man. You can see, I don't know him, I've never met him before, but just because he's aura and the way he is and how humble he is, he's a manager's dream. Because he knows that on that training field, he knows his talent, he's aware of his ability, but you can see that he's putting in that hard work to get better and better and better. He's working at his craft. Whereas the man, I just sense that he's just too much of an ego-driven person, bro. Do you understand what I mean? And it's a manager's nightmare because you're reminding him of the hard work beats ability, but he's just relying on ability. Whereas I think with Estevao, he's grafting to get where he is. You can tell. So I think the conversation that Estevao, I think by the end of the season, I think Estevao's going clear. I honestly think so, 100%.
That's the photo, by the way, with me and Estevao there.
There he is, the man.
Yeah, there we go. special person, man. Genuinely.
Yeah, I'm so happy with what we've got. I think it's too early to judge, really. I mean, it depends how Maresca uses him, but if he keeps using him the way he has been, and by the way, like starting him against Barcelona made total sense because a lot of players, especially with the physicality in England, like actually European football's easier. We saw that with Havertz. A number of players did really well in that environment. So like I wouldn't have any issues with him playing against Atalanta. I feel the same way against Napoli. If you're going to rest him in certain Premier League games, maybe him just coming off the bench. That makes perfect sense. Here's one for you, Scott, mate. Garnacho. Now, I think that Garnacho out of the whole team was probably the worst player, but that doesn't mean he did a bad job because, generally speaking, I think everyone was really good. What was your take on what you saw from Garnacho?
It was okay. Quite safe game in terms of, like, you look at the opposite side and what we just talked about in terms of there was a drive in terms of from Estevao, there was attempting to take players on. There was risks that, like, the other side of Garnacho, there was none basically. But it wasn't necessarily always a bad thing, like, across the game, but it was more of a case of, like, just keeping the ball with him and just recycling a lot of the time. There wasn't really any, like, it was kind of similar to the Liverpool game in terms of he was stretching the field really well, getting on the ball, but he wasn't really taking Koundé on at all. He was kind of just like, he'd get the ball, cut back inside, recycle it a lot of the time, which, like I said, I think that helped in certain moments, but there were other moments I think he could have done more and attacked Koundé a lot more. Koundé was looking suspect last night. But yeah, like, he didn't really do anything wrong outside of that. He was just kind of frustrating just because he wouldn't take Koundé on and he wouldn't, like, try a little bit more.
He did send him for a bath with that slide tackle when he cut inside. Did you see it?
I think so. And then he put the shit across. So, like,
and Koundé slid, he sent him down the line.
Yeah.
But for me personally, I don't know. I think the Garnacho, with him starting, I think that's more looking towards the Arsenal game. I think he wanted to rest probably Gittins, who will probably start. I'm not quite getting what he did. He started Neto up front, didn't he? So I don't know about that idea. I think it was Neto up front. It was Garnacho on the left and Estevão on the right. I don't see why he done that, because I would have probably rested one of the
other.
other.
Behind, to be fair.
Yeah, because the high line, Kev, the high line.
Yeah,
and he was never going to start Delap, because I think Delap starts against Arsenal.
Pedro's not exactly, though. He's not a slouch, is he? So I don't know why.
Yeah, but João Pedro doesn't run in behind or press anywhere near as good.
Neto had him absolutely on strings, Kev. Like,
yeah,
he like, there was that moment, wasn't there, just before he come off, where he got the ball in our half and literally raced Cabrasi like all the way to get in a corner. It was unbelievable. He just absolutely dusted him. Moments in behind, his run was absolutely timed. I mean, not to perfection, because their offside trap was incredibly frustrating. But we were getting at him every time, and he was a key part of that ball being on. So I think Maresca got his tactics absolutely spot on yesterday. Yeah. And at first, I was in the same boat as you. I did think no striker against Barcelona, but they just were not ready for what we did tactically at all.
I think the striker thing, though, is less of a. I think that's more of an indictment on those above Maresca and the players that didn't play, more than like Neto playing was a masterstroke. But I also think part of it is you couldn't play Delap because of the coming back from fitness, and also he's not been great since he's come back. And João Pedro's been terrible and doesn't run behind and doesn't press anywhere near as well. It's like, I think if Delap had been fully fit, I think he might have started.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm not sure he would have,
he can do that.
That's his best attribute, is running in behind and stretching teams.
I don't disagree, but I just think Neto is definitely quicker. And
I'm not saying he's not, but I think, like, you'd play a proper striker in that position, I feel like, if he was fit.
I'm not sure. Just that sort of game in particular. I was trying to think back to some of the games we saw against Tottenham and Brighton, where they played incredibly high lines against us. And I feel like Neto in those games as well was incredibly useful.
I mean, we've got to admit, Neto is so important.
I actually think he's underrated, Alex.
100%, Dan. Thank you. Mate, this guy is
okay, Alex.
So
Dan. Me and Alex had a bit of an argument yesterday. Yeah, Dan, let's be real. So this is for the whole panel. Yeah. Willian. Yeah.
Neto.
Or
Willian.
Neto.
Willian.
Oh, Willian.
Yeah, I'll go Willian.
Alex is trying to tell me that Neto is
that guy. No, it's recency bias. Willian was better than Neto.
Neto, consistency-wise, he's better, but Willian better player.
So you're saying Neto's more consistent than Willian? That's what you just said.
No, I think Neto's more versatile and tactically more useful than Willian, though. I think he is.
I think Neto's more versatile, but Willian's a better player and was more consistent.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Right. Okay. So
They're
you're
both
just
similar
saying,
in some
right? So
ways,
Willian
but
could
both,
do.
yeah.
So right. So Willian's got better technical ability, but if we're looking at reliability, consistency, what player or manager would rather have in his team, then you go Neto. Is that
Willian.
right?
Probably
Well,
still
no,
Willian.
because Willian offered
Willian.
you everything that Neto could do outside of the fact he couldn't play striker or wing back.
Yeah.
He was inconsistent.
Who was?
Not really. No.
He was
Yeah,
also.
but Neto's been
So is
inconsistent,
Neto.
though, Alex.
So
He
is
hasn't
Neto.
been inconsistent.
When you're playing with Pedro Rodriguez, when you're playing with Hazard in that three, you're on Diego Costa, you're gonna look like the lesser one because
Yeah, but then
play-
Kev, when
No,
all of them went
it
off
should
the
be the
boil,
other way around. You
no,
should.
but
You
no,
should
no,
look
it wasn't,
better.
Alex, because when all of them went off the boil, who was the one that was pulling the team through absolute shit? It was Willian. Willian was always at a consistent level, but the others, when they got to their best, were actually miles ahead of Willian because they were seriously that good.
Yeah,
but Willian was consistent throughout because when those players turned it off, Willian was the one that was shining because he was just at a level all the time.
I'll be honest, they're both inconsistent as hell, though. Like we've seen with Neto since he's been here, he's been inconsistent as hell. The only consistent
he's
period
been
he's
inconsistent
had
his whole career with either injuries or lack of output.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, 100%. But like the only period he's had that he was consistent with us was the Club World Cup. Outside that, he's just been inconsistent. So I'm not really looking at the consistency argument. I'm looking at everything else. And in terms of stylistically speaking, they're actually really similar players.
Yeah,
like they're both defensive wingers that will get up and down for 90 minutes, will track back, will cover ground. They're both got a great cross on them, both pretty good in terms of set pieces. Like they're to be fair, they're basically the same player. It's just one plays on the right and one plays they both play on the right, but one's right-footed, one's left-footed.
Right.
Like they're the same player, basically.
That's why I make the comparison though, because there's not really a better example that I could use. I mean,
he's closer to Damien Duff than any winger we've had in the Chelsea shirt. No,
is that
Damien Duff? I like Duff.
Yeah, no, he is. He's incredible. Like his stats, his numbers, everything. I've looked. He's incredibly similar to Damien Duff.
I don't know. I just think that he goes under the radar so much, and Willian, for what I'm saying, obviously I don't want to like criticize Willian. I do like Willian, but Willian was loved. You know, he had his own chant, and I just don't feel like Neto gets the love. He doesn't get the love. He doesn't get the credit that he deserves for what he brings. And this is the other thing, right? If we are having a conversation about when Palmer comes back and then you got Estevao who's too good not to drop in certain games, then I'd still feel comfortable with Neto on that left-hand side. If not, like, not just the fact that I like him as a player, but he brings balance to the team where you can have two players in there who, you know, maybe don't, aren't as good defensively, although I'd argue that Palmer is actually pretty good in terms of his pressing. And he just gives you that balance, and he supports his teammates and makes life easier for them. And if we do have Delap back in the fold and he picks up some form, like it would be nice to see Neto whip some balls in and have someone on the end of it. But I don't know. I just think he deserves more credit. Like
Garnacho eventually loses his place, Alex, to Estevao.
Unfortunately, yes. Yeah. Unfortunately. But
do you think he has any chance of a place opening on the left, or is that gone for him too? Do you think?
I don't think that's gone. No, because I think Neto is that important that you get him in however possible. I can't remember the exact context of Azpilicueta playing on that left hand side. I presume there might have been an injury. I can't remember it off the top of my head. But like, you look at Azpilicueta when he was a defender for it, like he was an example of our spine. Okay, and you tried to fit him in however that was, whether it was in a back three, he could play at right back, he could play at left back. And I kind of look at Neto in a similar way. Again, coming back to balance, right? That is a player that I think I can count on. I'd start Neto ahead of Garnacho. I'd start Neto ahead of Gittins. That doesn't mean that Gittins can't surpass him in terms of what he offers on the pitch with GA, because that's generally like the conversation, isn't it? You just want more GA. But I think that even Neto's like his ability to contribute. I don't know the stats off the top of my head. I'll have a look in a second. But I don't even think he's been that bad in terms of his ability to contribute. Like he
contributes to a game even without statistics, though. He does so much to wear out defenders, wear out teams. He's non-stop running, obviously defensively as well, his work rate. He contributes with or without putting up numbers. Obviously, we want him to put up numbers and we need him to win games, but he is so effective. He'll tire defenders out so that when, if he comes off and Estevao comes on, Estevao will run riot against the defender because he's had such a tough afternoon against Neto. Imagine like that Barcelona team, they were on their toes all the time on the half turn, just waiting for that ball over the top. And then they knew they're in a race. They're not going to win. Like imagine 90 minutes of that. That is incredibly fatiguing. He's the last sort of player you'd want to play against.
And the thing is that they're not used to that in the Spanish league. With the Spanish league, the majority of the players
they get it on the floor, Kev, don't they? They pass
on the
it
floor in
backwards.
front of you, and they wait for an opening to come and they'll play it through. We was ferocious. We knew what we was doing. Barcelona not ready for that intensity, that running in behind. They're not ready for players running at them. And when we brought on Delap, right timing, perfect timing, that gave him more of a headache after that. So it was hard.
I think that's the one relationship we've yet to see really develop is Neto and a striker. And I think there's a period of time at Wolves where he obviously had a good relationship with Jimenez, and a couple of players in that Wolves team thrived with him, and he racked up a serious number of assists one season. I just don't think we've seen that develop yet, but I really do think that if Delap can get firing, or if it is João Pedro, I think he could start adding some numbers as well in terms of assists. That would be good to see.
Another thing, it would be important to keep in the squad anyway, even if he's starting or not. Yeah.
Even if you look at the stats right now, like I didn't realize he's got 5 in 5 Neto. Like he's in a great run of form at the moment. If you spread it out through the season, then it doesn't look as good. But in recent games, goal and assist against Forest, assist against Sunderland, goal against Wolves, goal against Burnley. So he's picking up. He is picking up. So I mean, just going back to what we were saying earlier, Dan. Like, I do think that Estevao will eventually drop him. I just don't think that will be like very, very soon. Yeah. I could see that happening next season, but I think this season you're always going to have Neto on that right hand side, and then Estevao will come in. But I think Maresca's utilizing him well because I would rather have him play 6 out of 10 games and give me 100% than like I think it was Darmesh that said, do what's happened with Saka, and then you get a burnout. But I think Palmer's another example of that. So I mean that's my take on Neto. Right, let's move on. Let's talk about the midfield, guys. The 200 million pound midfield, which, to be quite frank, it was a bargain. One of the only, it's one of the only positions that we actually bought, in my opinion, ready-made players, and it just goes to show how important it is sometimes to just go out and spend the money, because
it's the only position in our entire team we've actually recruited well on, like actually properly recruited.
Yeah, even like our backups and players that have come in to do like temporary jobs have all been pretty good, haven't they?
It's literally the only position on the pitch where we've recruited well, we've recruited the right player, and we've recruited the right amount in terms of depth, in terms of from a quality perspective. Like the midfield is the most complete part of our team, and it's not even close. It's the only thing that the sporting directors have managed to actually fix properly. Like, fair play to them; they've got it right in that aspect. Because I agree with what Dan said. Like, not just the starters, but even the depth. Like Lavia, we know is good. Obviously, he's injured all the time, but like when he does play, he's great. But Asugo, we haven't really seen yet. I liked Uguchuku when he was here, but Santos as well.
Yeah, he's picking it up now, past few weeks and stuff.
Bro, he's a special player, man.
Now. Yeah.
Can I just bring you back to this comment that was a bit earlier from David? I mean, you can ask Scott. So he said, can you speak about the sporting directors? Like, do they not deserve a bit of credit? Again, when we look at those two players, do they not deserve credit for spending the money well, even though it was a lot of money? I mean, you look at Liverpool.
No, they don't get credit because they nearly fumbled. They don't get credit because they nearly fumbled. By the way, if it hadn't been for, I think, Egbali, and it hadn't been for Caicedo just being loyal, we fumbled both of those. So they don't get credit for either of those players because they nearly fumbled both of them. They also don't get credit, or they're not getting slander, in the middle of the season where they can't do anything. We started a game yesterday. We started the most important game of our season with no striker up front because both of our strikers were either out of form or injured because we had no one else. Because both of the ones we signed in the summer, one isn't a striker really, and the other one has been injured / out of form. And the other one's an 18-year-old. So no, they don't get credit. They're just not getting slander because we're not in the transfer window. Like when we get to the transfer window and they do nothing, or if they do nothing, I'll say, because they might do something, they'll get slander again as they should. Because they've done a piss poor job. But the one thing we have done well in recruitment is the midfield. But like I said, I don't really give them much credit.
On Alex's point as well, as like ready-made players. Enzo Fernandez had a really, really good World Cup when we went after him. So everyone was aware of who he was at that point. And Caicedo was arguably one of the hottest prospects in the Premier League as an up-and-coming midfielder at Brighton. It's not like they pulled out two absolute gems. They paid, like you said, over 200 million for these players.
Yep.
Yeah.
So they paid excessive amount of money at the time for the players, probably to make sure that we were in the position we were in could secure them. But I don't think they did an amazing job in getting and identifying those two players. I think they've done a good job at making sure it happened. But I completely agree with Scott. They've failed in so many other areas. It's difficult to give them praise to a really high level when those players would have been signed by any other Premier League or European top side.
It is weird, isn't it? Like there's a few signings. I remember Mudryk, Egbali flew all the way over and all this stuff. That's not his job, really, is it?
That was the same with Enzo, bro. If like we spent an entire transfer window, we spent 30 days trying to get the Enzo deal sorted, and we got it on deadline day because, like I said, I think one of Egbali or Boli had to fly out to Portugal to have a meeting with Rui Costa. That's the owner, bro, because the sporting director can't do their job properly.
I think it was Tom Bowley who flew out.
Yeah, to have a conversation with Rui Costa to try and sign Enzo, like on deadline day.
But in all fairness, if they're the two targets that they identified, right, where we're at now with them as the heartbeat of our team, they have been phenomenal, haven't they? For at least a season and a half, I think they've probably been one of the better midfield duos in Europe, to be honest. I think Enzo Fernandez goes under the radar, but in terms of what he's doing numbers-wise, it's actually unbelievable compared to other midfielders.
Hasn't he got the most GA for us this year or something, right?
With Enzo for me, I was saying yesterday to Alex, it's not about the GAs like he come up with an assist yesterday. That's not my concern, you know. When you're a midfielder, that's not really your job.
But that's what he's being asked to do, Kevin, this team, isn't he? That's what Maresca's asked him to do, play higher up.
I just want him to be more consistent. That's it, more consistent with his performances. I want him to be more tactically aware of his surroundings because sometimes I feel like he gets drawn in and then on the transition we get caught out. His game has stepped up. We all can criticize and find faults in players because there's faults in every single player. But with Enzo, when you're talking about over £100 million player, you had to step it up, mate. And this season and the back end of last season has been nothing short of exceptional. And he looks a lot fitter as well. When you look at him, he looks a lot thinner, a lot more thinner than I seen him yesterday. He's not carrying the extra stone, I think. So he's been working hard in the gym. He's working on his fitness, and it's showing in his performances. So fair play to him and well done, man. Do
you remember, Kev, like how slow and lethargic he looked? Obviously, he was carrying an injury under Poch. Like it looked woeful, didn't it? At times, it looked like he was treading.
It looked like he was running in Timberlands.
Yeah,
like. When he was running back in transition, he wasn't catching anybody. And like I said, when I see him yesterday, if you look at his body posture, his body now, it looks like he's lost a bit.
He looks lighter on his feet, doesn't he? He can move much quicker. He looks more agile. He's pressing off the ball. He's getting out to players far quicker. Like everything you want him to do and be that sort of part of the engine room with Caicedo. He's doing unreal.
I think he's understood that. Because in the Portuguese league, he probably can get away with being slow because the standards of the league is a lot less. I was just looking actually.
Wesley Fofana is our heaviest outfield player. Apparently,
heaviest.
Yeah, apparently.
Where'd you get that?
It's on WhoScored.com.
How much does he weigh?
84 kilos.
I'm heavier than Wesley Fofana. There you go.
Sanchez is our heaviest. He's 90.
I think I might weigh about the same as Robert Sanchez. There you go. I'm a big boy.
I just looked. I do weigh more than Wesley Fofana. Jesus.
Yeah, same.
Oh god, I'm gonna just say that it's muscle. That's why it's all muscle. It's bulking season, isn't it? It's bulking season.
He's 190 centimeters for reference. If anyone was comparing height to weight ratios and stuff.
No, he's taller than me.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Yeah, I mean, all in all, I think Enzo just deserves so much credit. I was saying afterward, Charlie, like, I don't use this term lightly because, again, it's a bit like when I'm talking about Neto and Willian. They're just the most similar players. I'm not going to compare Enzo with anyone, but with what he's being asked to do, maybe you could even say with what he is doing, the midfield that comes to mind in terms of goals, assists, covering ground,
Shirt number
8.
Lampard.
It's Lampard. It is Lampard. You know, I'm not sitting here saying that Enzo's anything like Lampard. I'm not comparing the players.
Lampard would hit a shot 30 yards and not hesitate. Enzo will pass.
All right, Kev. All right, one thing. But like in terms of just GA, all right, we're looking at what Fernandez did last season. Was it 26?
Enzo's not pulling nowhere near much GA than Lampard, bro.
No, but Kev, just his numbers in the midfield. If you look at the squad, you can see how important he is in that sense. And then we look at the fact that he was contributing GA, and we go, well, you're not. It doesn't look as good. You know, we preferred it with Potter when you were springing those nice, sexy passes. It looks good, but you're not getting the GA. So what do you want more? Do you want the goals? Do you want to control the midfield? Do you want it to look good, or do you want to be effective? And
well,
I
think what Lampard did. That's what Kev wants.
Well, this is the thing, though. Like, I think Enzo now, over the past few games, like even against Sunderland, when I thought Sunderland were actually pretty good. The thing that surprised me was I was watching Enzo and I was watching the amount of ground he was covering. And people go, "Well, Alex, that's their job." But Enzo never used to cover that much ground. I never, we were looking at positions. He would ping a beautiful pass and then he'd be making a run straight away after. He wouldn't just sit there and want to orchestrate. He'd want to get involved as well and get on the end of things. And I think that is one thing that Maresca definitely has improved him on, because we saw it at Leicester last year. He said, listen, I want him to make more runs into the box. I want him to put himself in a position where he can obviously score goals. And he's doing that. But then on top of that, you're now getting a little bit of the flair. And he's pinging some of those passes as well. So, like, for me, Enzo Fernandez, like, compared to where he was at the beginning of last season when I was personally slating him, I just think he's improved so much. And also, like, over the past couple of games, I've even been saying, usually it's Caicedo. We're all talking about Caicedo, and it's not because Fernandez is bad. But now I'm having the opposite thought. I'm thinking, wow, I preferred watching Enzo today. And that's a high standard.
Not even understanding how well his time and his runs into the box, like he's not just crashing it. And like I have to coach this some players. When I say make the run into the box, they'll run into the box and the ball will get played behind him. But he's looking and he's timing it. So when the ball comes in, he can get onto it and pass it into the net.
Like that goal at the weekend, Kev.
Yeah, precisely. And he done it yesterday. Sure, he done it yesterday when we got a goal disallowed. He timed it then. His timing of his runs is very Lampard-esque. I have to admit it. So he's improved in all parts of his game. And I was starting the season, I was a bit like, if he has another season like that inconsistency, maybe it's probably time to go to Spain. But at this point in time, I wouldn't let him go for shit, mate. He's been really good and fair play to him.
I actually think a lot of what we did yesterday went through him as well. Similar to. I still think the Wolves game, I thought he was unreal that game, but I thought a lot of good things that we did yesterday came through him as well. And I mean, off the ball work as well was phenomenal. Ball retention, keeping things ticking, giving the ball out wide and stuff to make sure attacks were being started and stuff. And yeah, like it speaks for itself. I mean, his stats this year. I mean, he's got the most GA for us in the whole of 2025 as well. His timing of the runs, his short passing, his long passing has always been there as well. And yeah, let's long may it continue, because at the end of the day, whenever he does have a bad game or bad couple of games, everyone's going to go back to the price tag, which unfortunately is out of his hands. But yeah, he's certainly much more quick to be with us. And obviously the debate is there with like who's better, him or the sort of Declan Rice out of them two, who's got the better sort of like positional awareness, who's better out of the two and stuff. But yeah, that'll be one to see for Sunday, obviously, as well. But yeah,
Do you know what
I'm really
he's
happy
so
with
good
Enzo
at?
Fernandez.
Is just taking risks, and sometimes it doesn't pay off, and sometimes he'll lose possession or people will slate the pass. But whenever he's sort of the game's going through him, he always tries to be progressive with the pass. He always tries to beat the line, break the gaps through defenders with the passing lane. Like, I really think that's a rarity in some midfielders in the modern
Do you guys
game,
remember the
because a lot
ball
of
from
them,
the outside of his foot yesterday in the
that's
second
it.
half?
Like,
Like,
a lot of
stuff like that
midfielders
is
just
enjoying his
want to
football.
keep the ball and then go into the review at the weekend or after the match and, I didn't give the ball away, pass completion's 90%, and all they
It's
did was
also
sort of
doing the
pass it
backwards.
sideways, retain it. Enzo Fernandez is coming out with, maybe lower pass completion rate, but the passes he's attempting are far more difficult. And I love to see that in a midfielder. He's so good at that.
Yeah, he takes risks. Risks.
And so does Caicedo, to be fair. And that's what I think puts him above a lot of other players in similar positions at other teams.
Well, Caicedo takes risks defensively as well. That's the other thing. Like, he wins the balls in areas where you can then make things happen, where you don't even need to find that pass because you're already in like a dangerous area. I mean, what are we thinking about Santos then in terms of like the Arsenal game? Are we open to him starting? Because that's another great game against Burnley, Barcelona coming on a very, very good 45 minutes. Like, there comes a point where you think, okay, we've got to make the most of our depth now. Is it a case of fitting him in and dropping someone else just to give him a rest? Or are you playing a three? We saw it with Lampard, Kante, Jorginho, Kovacic. Are we going for one of them where you just get as much quality in the middle as you can?
Can I be controversial here? I'd rather see Santos play in the midfield than invert one of our fullbacks and allow one of our fullbacks to be an out-and-out fullback, no inverting, overlapping. I'd rather see that.
I don't think that's too controversial, to be fair. I mean, yeah, we couldn't either sacrifice. Well, I'd rather obviously sacrifice Gusto than Reece James. I'd rather have Reece James play on the right-hand side and maybe stick Santos in there. But
I could see it, especially. Yeah, I could be down to do that if you were to play then João Pedro up front, and then obviously two wingers, and then just kind of crowd the midfield. I wouldn't be opposed to doing that because the interchange from the three of them last night, like that's what we've been waiting to see, like with having Lavia fit. Obviously, we haven't really seen it that much in terms of the interchange of all three of them. Santos dropping in deep, allowing Caicedo to just roam and just hunt.
Good word.
And then also Santos having the ability to do what he did at Strasbourg at times last year, which like drift kind of into the final third, not be a number 10 per se, because he's not a number 10, but just kind of do the late runs that Enzo kind of does. Obviously, it allows Enzo to have less defensive responsibility, which is always going to be his weakest element. And if you can take that kind of basically completely away from him, then he is able to do all the stuff he's good at in the final third. So yeah, 100%, I could see us doing that and be down for us to do that.
Because if you think about Arsenal's midfield, like I think Gusto will probably be he'll probably play and probably be very useful against that Arsenal midfield that will look to keep the ball and have probably an overload on our midfield at times. But I think Santos is probably a little bit more robust than Gusto in that sense and is getting himself around and pressing those players and dispossessing them interception-wise. He's winning the ball. He just looks really, really good in that role that he's picked up the last couple of games.
Yeah.
But obviously we've got the games like Leeds, so but I'd rather maybe him play against Leeds because I know that's going to be a difficult away day as well. And then we've seen Santos step up in these kind of games as well. So there's plenty more games to come to be fair. In terms of that, the Christmas period is going to be mad anyway. So but we're not in a situation where we're like one game a week. We have to sort of cram a lot of players in. We've got loads of fixtures. We've got obviously the Champions League ones to come up as well. So yeah.
No, I'm happy with Santos. I do feel like it was the right decision by Maresca to maybe ease him in a little bit. Because I wanted him to come in the squad quicker. Like, I wanted him to basically start ahead of Fernandez straight away. But I mean that logic's been proved wrong. But yeah, I mean there's no reason for me why I shouldn't start ahead of Arsenal if you can fit him in, especially tactically. I see a comment saying Gusto hobbled off as well. So if there is an injury concern there, then to be fair, I would be concerned about James starting as well. Like, it's one of those games where it's like, are you going to take the risk and win the battle, but then lose the war, and you get another long-term injury, or do you just rotate, but then you risk not having the quality to be able to win the game?
It's so hard to know with them as well, because if they play Trossard, I think you can take the Reece James risk, because I feel
Trossard
like they
got
won't
injured
have.
tonight, didn't he?
Did he?
I think he got injured.
Oh,
Yeah.
I didn't see it. Oh, fuck.
I don't know how bad it was.
In
but
that
he
sense,
did come off,
if they're going to go with Madueke and they're going to go with runners, I'd be more concerned about playing Reece James. Like if Trossard's playing, I feel like a lot of his game is in front of the defender. He's never really beating his man, taking them on, running them, giving them a tough time. And I feel like Reece could cope with that. But I feel like if Reece is, up against Madueke, who's like bombing it to the byline, you're just sort of asking for trouble 2 games in that short amount of time.
What about Delap, guys? What do we make of him? Obviously came off, came on, got his goal. When did he come on? He come on in the 59th minute for Garnacho. And listen, it was an important goal in a big game. But I guess the question is, like, does that give you the same confidence that hopefully it will give him? Because me personally, I've always been a big fan of Delap, but I don't think there's any denying he's been quite underwhelming since coming in. I think that there's a mixture of reasons why. I mean, if I looked at the Club World Cup, I'd say I was pretty happy with him, especially in the final. I thought he was great then.
He's got a.
But he just, for me, like Enzo Maresca said it perfectly after Wolves. He said that he doesn't think about the team. He just imagines that he's on the pitch playing for himself. And I thought that was a really good way of wording it.
There you go, mate. There you go. And something springs to mind, ego. He's got too much of an ego. I don't know where he's got it from. You play for Ipswich 1 season in the Prem and you just think you're the guy, mate. You've got to earn your stripes. For me personally, it seems like he's too concerned about banging into other players and put himself about. And his job is solely as a number 9 to put the ball in the back of the net. He scored 1 all season. Okay, the injuries has not gone his way.
I think it's 2 now. I think it's 2 with Barcelona.
Yeah, now he's got this goal against Barcelona. Can he go on and score 15 goals a season, which is an easily achievable amount of easily achievable target considering the amount of games we've got left. So he will be judged at the end of the season for how much goals he can score. Simple as that. I'm not concerned about him knocking players over or doing the dirty work. Yeah, in some games you do need that. But when it comes to putting the ball in the back of the net, you need to show us fans that you are better than Jackson, because right now Jackson's ahead. Jackson's think he scored 8 goals a season for Bayern. So I don't want to hear the conversation in the season that, why are you letting Jackson go when you got Delap who scored less? Don't want to be hearing it. So Delap, hopefully that goal will spring him on to score more, and he ends up with some good GAs into the season.
I think it was 2 moments of quality after he came on, and the rest was pretty crap. Yeah, like just unfortunately more of what we've seen from him outside the goal and outside that one excellent cross he put in first time on his weak foot. Outside of that, it's pretty average. I'm going to ask you guys the same thing I asked on another stream. 2 questions. First of all, do you think he cracks double-digit goals in the league this season?
Do I think he cracks?
Do you think he gets more than double-digit? Like he makes double-digit goals?
He can.
10? Yeah, I think he can get 10.
I can believe he can.
He's
got 2 yeses,
3
1
quarters of the season left, and we technically got 3 quarters of the season left. Obviously, being a lot of international breaks, so there's a long time.
How many games or minutes has he played actually in the Prem?
He's played just shy of 300 minutes, I think, all season, or just in the Prem. I can't remember which one.
He's got what, 1 Prem goal?
1 goal. He's got 1 goal in 8 appearances across the whole season so far.
I don't think so. I think with the players that we've got in our sort of reserve, like the players like Estevão, Palmer, I think those sort of players will sort of get the goals for us, and João Pedro, I think, more than Delap. So I don't think.
Cool. So, Dan, are you saying yes or no? You think he gets 10 or more goals?
No, I think he'll get 10 or more. I think he will. Cool. Yeah, I think he'll get
10.
Question,
and this is more addressed to people that think he's going to get 10 or more. Do you think he gets the same amount as Jackson got in his first season?
How many
And
Jacks?
that will-
14.
14 in the league. Just talking about.
You got to take into consideration though, he's playing far less games. He's already missed how many games already, hasn't he? So you take that.
No,
into
Jackson
Cool,
get
but
injured.
Jackson also spent half a season being shit as well. So.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, Jackson had the thing that Jackson had is he had 100% faith that he was going to start every game. That gives you
that's
confidence. Delap doesn't have that because of João Pedro, and in my opinion, I would start Mark Guiu a little bit more, even if it meant Delap not always play. I think Guiu has shown that he's very reliable for what you can get in terms of pressing, etc. Like I think that's a good impact sub to have. But I could see Delap getting, like 11, 12. I could see him getting.
Quick thing as well. I heard Jacob. He mentioned it on the fan cam Saturday about his role. I'm kind of figuring out myself, and Jacob made an absolutely bang on point. What is his role as a striker? Is he a drop deep link striker? Is he a box striker? Is he a link up striker? I can't see his game right now. Some strikers you can see the clear intent because they're running behind. He's a running behind. He wants to get in the box. What is Delap's role right now? Can someone give me a bit of justification?
I said this on I think I said this on the last stream. He is closer to Haaland, stylistically speaking, than he is to like a Jackson or someone like that. Like his link up play is average at best. Like his hold up play can be decent, but it's kind of hit or miss at the moment. But it can be decent. His touch lets him down so much. That's the one thing he needs to work on, is his touch. But yeah, like he you see with the way he plays and some of the runs he makes, he's a guy, he wants to get on the last man, make runs in behind, look for balls and then like kind of get in chances for that way. He's not someone who wants to drop deep and link play, which like that's cool. You can be that type of player. It means you're going to get like 10 touches a game probably, but it then means you need to score when you get chances. And the fact he scored yesterday is good. We just need to see more of that because we can't be having games like, what was the other game he had the other day where he basically didn't touch the ball? And yeah, he basically didn't touch the ball at all. Got like one chance, missed. That was the sum total of his game.
I think that the Sunderland game. No, that wasn't Delap, was it?
It wasn't Sunderland. I think Kev's right. It might have been Burnley, but yeah, he basically did nothing.
Yeah, Burnley and Wolves, he was pretty ineffective, wasn't he? He didn't do much.
Yeah, because he just doesn't get on the ball a lot. But I don't expect.
There was one game. I think it was against. Was it West Ham? He kind of had a really good game, but he didn't score.
Yeah, West Ham was very good.
Yeah, West Ham away. Yeah.
Yeah, and then he obviously got injured, didn't he, early on in that Fulham game, and then you haven't seen it. Oh, it's tough to say. He hasn't got a Prem goal actually. Looking at it, so I don't know actually.
Remind himself of what he did last season. I'm not blinkered here, and I haven't got a short memory. The way he killed in both games at Ipswich last year, the way he performed against us, is a bit like Dewsbury Hall the season before when Leicester played against us. And when I thought, wow, what was that? I had the same vibes through the lap, but he hasn't yet hit that form yet. Maybe it's the pressure of having the number 9 shot at such a big club. Maybe you get to find a system.
Maybe it's the number 9 curse, Kev. Maybe he actually.
Yeah, I'm starting to think it's that as well.
That curse is such nonsense.
I felt like Tammy ended the curse. He started scoring.
No, he didn't end the curse, but like
Tammy
he was all right. Tammy was scoring. What did Tammy get? 15 goals in a season.
He didn't like curse. No, he didn't break the curse in terms of being the like killer striker we needed. But when you look at the players we've signed that have worn the number 9, I'm not surprised they all failed. I'm not surprised our number 9 has been cursed. When you're signing Gonzalo Higuain 2 years after he is in his prime and he's fat, we're signing Falcao with no knees. Like, yeah, I'm not surprised they suck. Like,
one of them.
I hated Higuain.
There's a lot of them.
I did not like Higuain.
He hasn't got much to do to break that curse, hasn't he? Just score 10 goals and you fucking broke the curse. if he can do that.
Who do you reckon started the curse? Was it Belarus or Sidwell?
Yeah, it was Belarus. I looked at this like a while ago because I was looking like who's worn like our numbers since certain players. By the way, we talked about the number 9 curse, the number 11 curse. By the way, outside of Pedro Rodriguez, fuck me, it's bad. But yeah, I looked. I think Belarus was the first one that wore 9. Like after I think was it Hasselbank or whoever left? I don't remember off the top of my head. And then after that, it's just Yeah,
Hasselbank
who did
gave the shirt to
who did Belarus take it off
Belarus.
of?
Nah, but he left, and then I think it was it Mattia Kesman? Mattia Kesman had it after Hasselbank, and then Belarus.
Was it Kesman that started? Who was it? Let me have a look.
Kesman, 100%.
Yeah, it was Kesman was the one that started it. Yeah, because literally from Hasselbank, it was Kesman, Crespo, Belarus, Sidwell, De Santo, Torres,
there you
Falcao,
go.
Morata, Higuain, Abraham,
you got it,
Lukaku,
you
or
got it,
Aubameyang.
you got it.
Wow.
That list.
The
Wank.
Lukaku still baffles me. I'm actually surprised. I'm actually very surprised. Like out of all the ones that he,
I say, yeah, the Lukaku one is probably the only one you can say we signed, and that genuinely went worse than we expected. All the others, like, what else were you expecting, man? Like, what else were
I
you?
guess Torres as well. I think maybe because of how.
No, we signed him
good he
after a
was
knee
at
injury.
Liverpool, but then
Yeah,
obviously,
Torres
like, yeah,
I think he just came back from an
Torres
ACL or
redeemed
something,
himself,
like a
though.
knee injury.
Torres redeemed himself. That goal in Barcelona was enough to say, you know what, he had a half decent career at Chelsea. That was enough because you got to understand that goal got us the Champions League final, got us Champions League. So
He had a really good Europa League campaign as well, didn't he, Kev? The next
he
season
scored
as
in
well.
the Europa
Had a
League
really good
final against
season.
Benfica.
Yeah.
So,
Boys, let's finish with a little Arsenal preview, shall we? So, what are we thinking for that one? I mean, me personally, I'm going to go with a game where you have two sides that are. I'd say Arsenal are going to be more tentative than we are. They're going to sit back, look to counter, look to get set pieces and cause problems in that way. I don't see them dominating possession. I think that we'll be fine. I think we'll be in control. And I think we'll have limited opportunities. But I think that within the limited opportunities that we have, I think we will score. It's just a question of whether we concede. So, I mean, I'm just going to go, roughly speaking, if I had to predict this game, I think it's going to be a 1-0 or a 1-1 game. I don't see a lot of goals in it, unlike Barcelona, where I thought, well, there's going to be goals everywhere. And there was, to be fair, we even had 3 disallowed ones. But yeah, I mean, that's my take on Barca. Arsenal. What about you, Damesh?
yeah, I don't know, man. As much as I want to beat these guys and shut them up, I kind of see it being similar. I think it'll be a 1-goal game, or I think it'll be like a 1-1 or a 0-0. We just have to take the game to them, man. I mean, obviously they've got their strengths, we got our strengths as well. Like I said earlier in the show, I don't really fear anyone on that pitch of Arsenal's. Genuinely, even with set pieces, we dealt with them so well. Overall in the season so far, we seem to patch the long throw situation as well. I think if we are to score, I think it'll be from like a long range, like last season where Pedro Neto scored for us. I think out of nothing, I think it's gonna be quite similar where Arsenal will not give us lapses of concentration. But I think the downfall for us will be us, as I said, with us faffing around the back. For example, if Chalobah gives the ball away straight to Madueke, straight to Saka, we know that there might be killers in front of goal, and I think they'll score. So, yeah, I'm gonna go 1-0 Chelsea. I think that's more us be more hoping to this of you, but any other score won't surprise me. It won't surprise me if we have lapses in concentration, give away 2 goals, for example. It's be so Chelsea of us to do that. So yeah, that's what I think of the game. But yeah, let's just beat these guys, man. I really don't want them to win the league this season. Of anyone, like anyone but them, genuinely.
Go on, Kev.
I'm feeling a lot more confident than I did Monday before the Barcelona game, and I kind of thought that it'd either be a win or draw against Barcelona, but to win the game in the fashion that we did, that's given me a lot of confidence now, and I can sense it after the game. When I was walking down the tunnel on the way out, I was happy with the result, but you could still see that the know that it's not done yet. There's still more to do, and Sunday is more important to me than yesterday. Yesterday is gone now. If you want to prove that you're serious, and that we've took a corner and we can say, we back and all that jazz, you go and beat Arsenal. If we lose, 9 points is the gap. If we win, we close the points down to 3. And I can honestly probably say that we're fully in a title race. And this time last year, I said we finished 4th. I do believe with the squad depth we've got, and last season we didn't have covering certain areas, which we have now. I can honestly say that if we can pick up a bit of form now, up until the end of the year, we are in a title race. So it's a massive game. I am confident that we can get a result. I feel like Arsenal, like you said a bit ago, Alex, they're going to sit back. They're not going to allow us to get into the box and get our tricky players in around the area. They're really good on set play. So we know if we can limit their corners and free kicks in silly areas, we should be fine on that end. So I think there's going to be a moment of magic. And guess who's going to come up with it? Estevao. So, yeah, I kind of think in my head, it's going to be a 1-0, it's going to be tight, but I feel like if there's someone who's going to come up with the goods, it's going to be that guy.
Dan, what do you think?
Yeah, it's been a tough fixture for us, hasn't it, in recent years? I can't really remember the last time we actually won this game.
3-2, sorry.
Really? Wow. Okay. Yeah, long time.
Oh, no, sorry. 4-1.
It was under Lampard, wasn't it? Or are you just talking about this, like, at home?
At home,
at home. It would have been 3-2.
Sorry, yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
Was it really? Yeah, wow. It's
Please
been a
do
long
who?
time.
Sorry, mate. Alonso, Pedro.
Wait, that long?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, we struggled.
Wow. Mate, it's coming. Nah, you know what? No, I don't want to hear no excuses, man.
That is August
no
the
excuses,
18th, 2018. Yeah, it's been
No
a really
excuses.
tough fixture, and Arsenal have really got themselves up for it in recent years. Last year was 1-1, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was 1-1, 2-2.
It could be the
before
same
that.
again. I really think we need to win this game if we've got any chance of containing Arsenal getting away from us. If we want to be there, sort of trying to contest it this season, I'd love us to go and win it, but they're a serious side, and I mean they just absolutely have looked really solid this season. They've manhandled some good sides, but they've got vulnerabilities. We've just got to find a way to beat that, and we've got to defend really well. It's going to come down to a real spirited performance if we get a win against them. That's for sure. Even though it's at home.
I mean, 3-1 against Bayern. That's impressive.
That's a good result.
Oh,
yeah,
I'm looking,
really
by the way. Forget at home. We haven't beaten them in 4 years.
Yeah. They've been miles ahead of us, though. In those
Maybe
4
this
years,
is
haven't they?
maybe now's the time.
Was it Lampard season? The Abraham?
Yeah, there was 2-0 away from home on 21-22. No, I think that was under 2.
Did we beat him? Did we beat him with Lukaku? Did Lukaku score?
Yeah, that was the Lukaku debut. That was that's the last time we beat them.
That was
That's
away.
disgraceful.
Yeah.
That's disgraceful.
Yeah, it's
like
going to take a lot, isn't it, to beat this Arsenal team? They are a serious side. They don't concede goals. I'll tell you what, though, I'd love us to put a few goals against them to just make sure they're definitely not on for that record, though.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because what, they conceded 6 now? I think 6.
Yeah, I think so. 6.
So, yeah, I 2-2 draw. I'd take that.
Scott, what do you think?
First of all,
you'll take that, bro. Dan, I'm not taking no draw. Sorry, I'm sorry to interrupt. I'm not taking no draw.
Kev, do you know what? I don't
draw.
want a draw, but I don't want to lose to them. And I think they're a tough team to beat. I really do.
Yeah. You know what? You got to give them. Arsenal for me right now, they're the best team. It's hard to say. Just to be honest, I think they're actually probably the best footballing team in the world right now as we speak.
Yeah.
All like defensively, the forward wide, everything, set plays, they are a well-drilled team. So it's hard to say it, but you got to be honest, then
Yeah, just my thing is like with the game, like I do think it'll be a draw, but I just want to beat them like so badly. I just need us to beat them.
By the way, if we beat him, Scott, that could be massive.
Oh yeah, and the other thing I want us to show more than anything, like obviously don't want to lose. I'm not accepting a loss at all. But if you do lose, show that you're close. Like show that the gap between the two teams is close. Like because if they batter us like 3-4-0, then
that's not gonna happen.
I don't think it will either. But I'm saying if that happens, this season for me isn't a progression at all because we're no closer to the title. Because I agree with Kev, they're currently the best team in the league. I think it's us or City really that are challenging them. And right now, both of us and City look a little bit off, but who knows what can happen the rest of the season.
Yeah.
If we are that far off Arsenal, that means we're not challenging. That means it's City only. That means we're like not close to challenging, which for me needed to be the progression this season. Like, if we get 4th again this season, or even if we get 3rd, that's not really progression for me. Like, that's kind of tiny progression. I'm saying I want it to be. You need to put up a fight and make it close. I think we will.
Yeah.
But I need to see how close we are to that team. Because, like I said, I think they're the best team.
We need to show we can go and compete with them rather than, sort of defend, sit back, contain them, and try and make sure we get away with one. We need to go and try to win that game of football. And if we get hurt 100%. Doing so, we get hurt doing so. But we need to go and see if we can actually beat this Arsenal side, don't we?
This is the interesting thing for me is who do we start in the 10 and the 9 going into Sunday?
Enzo and João Pedro.
If Palmer can walk, I'd start him. Honestly, I would. Like, I watched him jumping over hurdles, and I was like, he's fit enough to play.
Yeah.
He'd have to be
Palmer.
I'd say Enzo and João Pedro just because I like the idea from earlier, actually, of the 3-man midfield, because it means you can have Caicedo just like, or you can
one
have
is
Caicedo,
always 3 at a time, aren't they? I think
and also just I'm thinking defensively as well. It gives Rice problems. It gives Eze problems, man. He is incredible, by the way. Like the pass he did tonight for Martinelli, like Erdegaard's not making that pass. He is the one that's going to unlock us
as well, isn't he?
He's going to be the one that unlocks it for them against us.
He scores against us as well, doesn't he?
If you can have Santos in there to help defensively, if you can have Caicedo being able to clamp him and just lock him down, I like that. And I'll be honest, João Pedro in the 10 has done nothing. He's done nothing up front either, but I don't think Delap has either. There was an Arsenal fan on Lewis's stream earlier, and he said that one of the things they've struggled with this season is playing against false nines. They want to drop out of off the back line, because then the centre backs don't really know what to do in terms of they don't know whether to step, whether to just drop off. So that could be useful.
You're right.
Interesting. Okay.
I think Gabriel and Saliba, they like to be having a physical battle. You see with Haaland previously when Saliba just knocked him off the ball. I think they like that aggressive tussle with a centre half. With Neto, it's not that. Neto is going to be picking up positions where you don't want your centre backs. You don't want Gabriel or Saliba getting pulled out wide. You want them in the middle, don't you? So I think that false number 9 against Arsenal would work a lot. Just pulling one of them out. I don't know if it would be Gabriel. I think he's still injured, isn't he?
He is. I imagine it'll probably be Mosquera played tonight. It might be Mosquera again. He's decent, but you can tell the drop off is there between him and Gabriel.
There you go. Well, that was a great stream, guys. Very, 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 very good conversation. We've spoken about pretty much the majority of things. Should we touch on Robert Sanchez? We haven't even spoken about him. Should we touch on him?
No, he needs a good game this weekend, then he deserves a conversation.
There's only one Robert Sanchez. He used to be shy. Now he's all right. Walking in a Sanchez wonderland. What a song.
He wasn't tested last night, was he? He made one good save. He wasn't really tested.
His distribution was great. Come on.
No, it was, but I think his distribution...
That's what we've been criticising, isn't it?
No, I think we've been criticising his concentration levels. I think his ability to be focused 100% of the time has been the biggest issue with him, because I've seen him have really good distribution, and I've also seen him attempt things that could be unbelievable, and he's switched off and he doesn't execute it properly, and it leads to an error, a defensive mishap, a shot on goal, a chance, a breakdown in trust. He's doing well at the moment in making sure that doesn't happen, and he needs to continue. But I don't think we can be singing songs about him turning it around completely just yet.
But that's why I think
it's got to be over a consistent period.
He used to be shy. Now he's all right. I mean, he's not great. He's just all right.
Yeah, but
that is like
another song. Come on.
I think that's one of the best songs I've heard in a while. I mean, apart from the Estevao one, obviously,
and the Trevor Chalobah one. You loved, Alex. To be fair,
I do you know what? I will forever say that I was the founder of one Chelsea chant that occasionally 10 people would sing in the away end. That's about as good as it got. So, but yeah, I think Sanchez is. Go on, Kev. Go on.
Is that the song? The Standing at the Bar with Trevor Chalobah?
That's the one, mate. That's the one. It's a great song. It's a great song. Although he's a Jehovah's Witness, so I don't think they can drink, can they?
Okay, I got a question. I got a question on
They can
Sanchez.
drink,
Then,
Jehovah's Witnesses can drink.
Oh, they can drink.
if Sanchez carries on at this level now, and this is his new baseline, do we need a new keeper?
No way.
Yes.
No way. If
Yes.
he stays like this, he's fine.
I still think we do.
Hang on a sec. We finished in a Champions League position and won 2 trophies with Sanchez. Bear in mind, to be fair, our Conference League a little bit different. But I would say he was one of the reasons we won the Club World Cup. So if his level improves and the whole team improves, then you're going on an upwards trajectory.
Is he the best goalkeeper in the league?
Is he the best goalkeeper in the league?
No.
Then you can improve on him.
Well, yeah, but you can improve on a lot of things. Doesn't mean you've got a bad. It doesn't mean what you've got is bad.
No, but that's the point. Is you like, I'm all about improving on what we need to improve. We don't need to improve the midfield or right back or left back because we've got the best in those positions in the world.
But so okay. So if we had the opportunity to sign 2 players, let's just say a centre back, all right, maybe 2 centre backs because we spoke about getting
striker. I still think a striker is. Just
I was gonna say if you're telling me we can only sign 2 players, then no. But I'm saying if he still is, if like that wasn't the question. The question was, would I still improve on him, or do we still need to replace him? Yes. Like Maignan better than him, for example. Donnarumma was one we could have done.
You said, do we need to replace him? I mean, we don't need to, though. We don't need to, because if he's doing pretty well, and if he's improved, and if his form stays like how it's been for the past month or 2, where I think he's been pretty good. I give him an 8 out of 10.
Yeah.
I think that is good enough to win you a league, because Sanchez is 8 out of 10. You may have a couple of mistakes in there, but he'll rectify that by also winning you points, with amazing games like he has, every now and again. And those could be your Arsenals in those matches that are so critical to winning a title, or the cup finals. Whether we're getting any more of them this season, we'll find out.
Let's be real on it. He's come on so far the last month or so.
Definitely, yeah.
The total different player. You can see the confidence now in him. Distribution's not been too bad, but he's far off a world class keeper. All-rounded world class keeper is far off. And for me personally, I've seen too much bad to change my mind on him. Go to the end of the season and not make more than 2 mistakes. Okay, you know what? You've earned your stripes, but even if if he makes one mistake, the whole fan base will get on his back again. That's my only concern, because we've seen that much bad with him. The saying is shit stains. You might have 10 good games now, but that one error, everyone's like, fuck him off, get him out again. So, because we've seen that much, so that's it.
Well, I guess we kind of need to go for a goalkeeper as well, with Jorgensen potentially leaving as well. So,
we just put Slonina as the backup. It's basically the same thing.
Hey, there you go. Let us know in the chat what you think about the goalkeeper next season. Would you keep Sanchez if he maintains his form, if maybe even improves a little bit as well, or do you still feel like we need something a little bit different in there? What do you prioritize? If you haven't smashed that like button, please do. It makes a huge difference. Subscribe to the channel as well. On the road to 250. We're getting there slowly but surely. And listen, we're gonna leave it there. Really appreciate everyone in the panel. Thanks for coming on. Big up to you, Scott. Good to see you as well, Dan, Kev, Darmesh. Always a pleasure. And listen, we'll have another show on. We're playing on Saturday, aren't we? So
Sunday.
We're playing on Sunday. Oh shit! So we'll have a Monday 10 p.m. show. That's what will happen then. So if you guys want to tune in for that one after, is anyone playing on Monday? There's going to be a game, isn't there? Who's playing on Monday?
I don't think there is, because there's Premier League games, isn't there, on the Tuesday and the Wednesday, isn't there? So
yeah.
Oh yeah, you're right. So there's nothing. Oh, maybe we can do a slightly earlier show in that case. So yeah. Anyway, we'll do a show on Monday evening after the Arsenal game, just going through everything. Tune in for that. Appreciate everyone's time. and we will catch up very, very soon. All the best, guys, and enjoy the rest of your